So, last week was the Brackey's game jam where you only had 7 days to make a game, but because I'm an idiot, I only had 6, as I started a day late. Anyways, the theme for the jam was diving deeper, and when I first saw this, my first thought was the underwater survival game Subnautica, but I can't create a game like Subnautica in just 6 days, so what my game needed was a single unique game mechanic. A grappling gun. Yeah, I bet you didn't guess that. So you may be asking, how is a grappling gun a unique mechanic? And well, that's where you're wrong. Wait, I mean, you're kinda right though. However, I found that there are actually few games that use a grappling hook as the main mechanic or that feature underwater grappling. So I set up a task list on Trello and created a new Unity project. I opened up the project, then added Square. Firstly, we need to code a grappling gun script. The way I want it to function is that after launching the hook, you can pull yourself in towards the grapple point, but I also want the player to be able to swing using the rope. To do this, we need to send a raycast from the tip of the player's gun to the direction that they're facing. Then we can use Unity's spring joint to act as the grappling rope and handle the physics for us. Finally, we also need to render the rope using a line renderer, and also create a rope animation using code. After a long time coding, here's the result. It's looking alright, but it can definitely do with some tweaking. That's all I did on day 1. It may not look like it, but this was quite hard to code. At the moment, the game is looking kinda whack, so I started the second day by creating some graphics. The player is supposed to be a mech, similar to the prawn suit from Subnautica. With the pixel art out of the way, the game still looks bad, so I made this water gradient shader for the foreground and background. Then I started to work on a level loading system. I made an archway gate and the player will be sent to the next scene upon collision. In real life, when you're underwater, you can see rays of sunlight coming from above the water, which is pretty cool. I added this to the game by creating these god ray particles, but normally there is some sand and plants in the ocean, so I created the sandy tile set and implemented the tile map into the scene. Now, if you just look real closely and imagine a seabed that actually looks like an ocean floor, then you might just be able to see the resemblance, or not. Probably not. Okay, so now we need to add some enemies to the game. So I created some spikes, because you know, that's a totally normal thing that's in the ocean. Anyways, if you touch the spikes, then you will die, which isn't very good. So you have to use the harpoon grapple gun to get past them. I decided to redo some of the art, as I felt it wasn't visually consistent. Plus, I had to create some animations for the player, and then implement them. Then, there's also going to be a jellyfish. He's called Dave. Dave will move back and forth between 2 points because he's a jellyfish. And well, jellyfish are pretty dumb, if I do say so myself. But Dave is actually an enemy, so I implemented the ability to grapple onto him and make him die. Yeah, f you Dave. Moving on, I chose to use grappling points, instead of having the player be able to grapple everywhere. This allows for easier and more fun level design. Also, I made these geysers which will push the player away, a bit like a water current or something like that, and I made a cool bubble effect to go with it. So there's actually a problem. I heard that Dave called his friend Little Timmy for backup. Oh wait, he's just a harmless little fish. How cute. Well, While using the harpoon gun, it doesn't actually look like you're aiming. So I made a crosshair sprite, and it would change its colour when hovering over grappleable surfaces. Then I had to fix a bug where you could grapple through the ground. Before I start making levels, the camera needs to be able to move around. I imported Cinemachine and started messing with some of the settings. Yep, press this, yeah, a bit of that, this, and now the camera works. The camera is constrained by the size of the room and will also follow the player. Also, I created a pause menu because, as Dio said, so now, the base game is done, and I should probably make some levels, because it's just, you know, kind of important. The first level drops the player down a mysterious hole, then teaches them how to play, and the second level introduces you to the jellyfish. And well, that's all I've got for today. Alright, time to build some more levels. I made a level with geysers, and then another level where you have to grapple on pufferfish. So, I've made 4 levels, but we need a main menu. Now with the main menu, you can select which level you'd like to play. I had created a background tile map for the main menu, but I decided that it would add more depth with the parallax effect, and so I added it to all the current levels in the game. With a few levels and the main menu, the game is now playable, but that doesn't mean it's any good. So I asked one of my friends to playtest the game for me. After a short while, it was safe to say that he found the game too hard. I had to adjust the difficulty of some levels and also added a shorter level in between to make sure any noobs understand how to play. Anyway, it's time for some polish because the game doesn't feel satisfying to play. I spent a lot of time creating juicy particle effects using Unity's particle system. After it's all put together, the game is starting to look a bit better. Alright, time to hit the sack. So, I woke up the next day and was like, let's make this a speedrunning game. I created a timer script that would time you. Yeah, I know, I'm a genius. The timer would record the lowest time that you achieved for each level and then it would be saved. Another thing that can be polished is the sound design. More precisely, sound effects to enhance the gameplay. I used JSFXR to create a variety of different sounds. I coded an audio manager and then implemented it into the game. Now we got some cool sounds for the game. But one of the most important things that can create atmosphere in a game is its music. So I opened up LMMS and got to work on creating an underwater Super Mario 64 inspired soundtrack. After blacking out then waking up, I had some music for my game that I was actually proud of, considering that I'm not by any means a musician. I think it fits the game and gives off a watery, adventurous vibe. With the sounds now in place, I had to create an audio settings page in the main menu. The game is near completion, I just gotta grind out making levels. Level 6, boom, done. Level 7, finished. Level 8, oh no, Jellyfish Junction. Level 9, Spiked Caverns. Level 10, what the fuck? And well yeah, after a fiesta of level making and no sleep, the game is finally done. Yippee! I did some final playtesting, then I created an itch page, and finally I submitted the game. And well, there it is, a game made in just 6 days. Anyways, the game is 100% free to download, and there's a link in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourself. But if you want to watch me make a C++ game in just 5 days, then you should totally check out this next video.